Lately, I felt like I've had 1,000 tabs open in my mind, and I know I'm not the only one. In today's day and age, it's so easy to get stuck with overthinking because you're feeling constant bombardment from pressures outside, comparison, or other noise around you. Well, in today's video, I want to talk about taking a step back, reconnecting with your presence, and getting out into nature so they can remind us of the one thing that we all truthfully know deep down, that we're not meant to carry everything all the time. So in the spirit of this, I'm going to get up, get outside, go take a walk, bring my camera, and let's keep this conversation going. See you there. Feeling overwhelmed, it can be a lot, right? And right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I have yet to find the perfect magic solution that works for each and every person in this entire world, that you're going to be able to do this one thing and it's going to take away all these feelings of feeling overwhelmed overnight. It just really doesn't exist. However, whenever I'm in a position where I feel like I have so much stimuli, whether that's things that I impose myself or other people impose on me instead, and I'm starting to feel really overwhelmed, there's no better thing to do for me than to get out to nature of some kind, right? I've lived here for years in Phoenix, and I've yet to actually come down the street to be where this is at right here, right? Water, trees, it's nice. Now, there's still some background noise from cars and people and such too, because it's really hard to be completely alone. But I think sometimes whenever you feel really overwhelmed by a lot of the pressures and things in life, sometimes I can just be a large crowd or something too, right? It's nice to get out there, take a walk. Even if you don't have access to nature like this, it's nice to get out there sometimes and just take a spin around your block, because that can do a lot for you. There's something so peaceful and so satisfying and so nice about getting outside. And like I said, you may be in a city that's really hard to get outside. It could be cold, it could be hot. I get all these things, right? It gets hot here in Arizona too. So sometimes you got to do what you can, right? It's like in Arizona, when it gets hot outside, I have to get up early in the morning or I have to go late at night. If you live somewhere in a concrete jungle like Chicago or something like that, you got to drive maybe 15, 20 minutes outside the city to get to a park or do something nice that's a little bit more detached from some of these everyday stimuli and things that you feel. I've lived near this park for years, and I've been out here before, but I've never been to this part of it with like the water behind me and everything, and it's really nice and peaceful. And I think sometimes we can live right next to options that are able to clear our head, but we just don't use them that often, right? And I'm not the only one that does this. Like when I lived in San Diego, I didn't go to the beach that often, even though the access is right there. And now when I don't have it, I miss it. And like when I lived in St. Louis, I remember I never went to the St. Louis Arch, and I was there for 7 years, right? So it doesn't have to be nature's in terms of being around trees and things like this. Sometimes it's just a new experience or being out of your bubble, but doing something that's satisfying to help calm those nerves. It doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to take up all your time. But I think sometimes we live within reach of some of these options to help us. We just don't really kind of reach out to people to take advantage of the opportunity in front of us. Intentionality goes a long way. In any case, while it may not be something that completely fixes every single problem, or every single feeling of feeling overwhelmed that you may feel by getting outside and getting into nature, it's never going to hurt, right? You're never going to feel like I'm super overwhelmed, but I took that walk and now I'm more stressed. I'm really overwhelmed and now I got outside and, saw some wildlife or something and now I feel even more stressed. Or I'm really overwhelmed and I went outside, looked up at the sky and just saw the sun, or hell, saw the clouds too, right? And just felt overwhelmed. Sometimes just getting to a point of detachment is the first step you need to be able to get over this hurdle of feeling overwhelmed, because contrary to popular belief, it's not something that you feel your entire life. These are just kind of hurdles and speed bumps you have to get over whenever these moments in life kind of catch up to us and we feel overwhelmed. Just like anything else, that time will pass. I know it can be hard to get to a position where you think, oh, yeah, this is going to pass. Yeah, right. I've been feeling overwhelmed because of my job and my relationship and my finances and my health and my schedule and everything else that fits in there, right? You can feel like these things are going to last forever, but I know they won't. And I think deep down, you know that too. It's just hard to not get caught up in the moment and keep feeling like this for our day to day. One important thing, I think, to help highlight some of the reality of some of this stuff is sometimes to kind of just take a step back from yourself. And sometimes this can start with a walk, right? Look at your situation. Really ask yourself like what it is that's overwhelming you. Are these things that constantly happen day in, day out where they don't ever change, right? Do you move from one situation to the next and find you're constantly having the same stimuli, the same things that constantly overwhelm you? If it is the case where you're kind of finding some of the same things that keep coming back up over and over and over and keep overwhelming you, I think sometimes it's more important to go after the pattern than it is the specific individual thing that may be happening in your life right now. And if you get to the point where you think, okay, like, no, this isn't a constant feeling I have, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This just happened because I lost my job, or I, don't have enough money right now, or my relationship broke off or something too. These are especially the moments that will pass, right? Because it's a momentary thing that happened at a certain point, and you have to do the steps you need to be able to get over these things too. Now, in the case that it is something that's a little bit more long term, right? If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed over and over and over, this is what I mean. It's important to go after the pattern, because if you don't go after the pattern and you think you can just take care of this one moment that happened, and yet this pattern keeps showing up over and over and over, you have to essentially go ahead and take care of this habit. And that's exactly how you get to the point where feeling a little bit less overwhelmed in your life instead. I think sometimes some of us are fortunate to kind of be around a little bit more nature than the rest of us are, right? And you maybe have a really tough situation, but you may live in a perfect place in terms of nature, environment, temperature, and things to do and such that can really kind of get you out of these bubbles of thinking. Some of us are going to have more access to nature than others, but it doesn't mean it's an excuse to not go ahead and try, right? Even if you're living in a city and you can't do anything else other than walk around your block or something just to get some fresh air, that could do a lot for you, right? And if you think about the last time that you've actually had a walk, been out in nature, done something to get away from everything, and it's been a long time, this may be a big cause of the issue you're feeling right now. I think an important first step to do is to kind of be honest with yourself. And got these birds going crazy over here. Birds, ducks. I don't know what these things are. I'm not an animal expert. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's important really to kind of look at your situation and see what you have access to and to use that. So if you are in a city of some kind, get outside, get some fresh air, because that goes a long way. If you live in the middle of Missouri and you got nothing but some green grass to go out there and walk around, go do that instead. If you happen to live in like Costa Rica or something, you got access to a rainforest or something nice over there, kick your shoes off and go walk down there instead. Everybody has access to different things, right? But one common thing with all this is that the access to be able to get outside in nature really clears your head up. And sometimes clearing your head up can be enough to paint your situation in a different light so you can see the solutions that are right there in front of you this whole time. It's like I said, kind of at the top of like what I'm talking about here, right? There is no perfect one-size-fits-all answer that's going to be able to help everybody that's feeling overwhelmed. I think that specifically, if you break down everybody's situation, there are different solutions that will individually help all of us move forward and eventually keep with our solution, whatever it may be. I firmly believe that if you're in a position where you are overwhelmed and you feel like all these pressures and things are pushing in on you in life, it's like you feel like you're in one of those like tight rooms or something where the walls are collapsing in on you. If you stay in that room, just like anything else would say, right, you're eventually going to get closed into the point where you can't move and you feel like you're completely constricted by your situation, as a metaphor, right? Now, the only way to really get out of the situation, not feel these walls collapsing on you, this pressure, is to do what? Is to get outside, right? And getting outside of that situation, out of that room and out of that overwhelm is the first step to be able to kind of see where it is you need to go next. So if there's anything else I really want you to kind of take from this video, it's that it's important to get outside of your bubble. And this doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in front of a stage with hundreds of people and kind of break your fear of public speaking or doing something daunting like this. It really simply means for you to get out of your situation, even if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter. Take whatever you have, do it whenever you can. And slowly but surely, you will start to feel a little bit more clarity. You will start to feel better. It's not going to fix your situation all entirely, but what else is not going to fix your situation is constantly sitting here in the overwhelm and letting it get to you and let these walls collapse, because that only leads to one spot, and that's not good. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving, see if we can go walk up the hill and see what else we can find. Yo, so right now, I just started walking and like I literally saw a pyramid up on the hill here. I don't know what this thing is about or what it's for, but definitely gotta check this thing out. But in the meantime, while I'm walking over there, I can tell you is I already feel a little less overwhelmed. I wasn't even feeling super overwhelmed before I came out here today, but even making this video and just being outside, it's amazing like how much better I already feel too. So I ain't just saying it. I'm telling you, do it. Personal experience goes a long way. All right, we've reached the pyramid. I wasn't joking. There's an actual pyramid here. Pyramid. All right. The last thing I really want to go ahead and say right now is that if you're overwhelmed, I get it. The only reason I'm even talking about this today is because this has been one of the biggest problems I've ever dealt with in my entire life. And I know I'm not alone. And I think sometimes when we feel overwhelmed, these are times where we want to isolate, not talk to other people around us. And then not only isolate, but we don't do anything else about it. And before you know it, your situation creeps up on you. That's been my experience. And that's been the experience of some of my friends and some of the people closest to me in my life too. And if there's anything I can ever do to sit there and say to help somebody avoid some of this pain or the difficulty that comes with this situation, that's exactly what this is for. I know it may seem like it's oversimplified, but throughout all the years I've been alive and all the things that have ever helped or not helped me, getting outside, being one with, you know, what's most important, which is this world and the things that we're blessed with, I think sometimes can go a long way for you. So if no one else has told you to get out there, do a little something for yourself, be one with nature, and just kind of get away from some of these pressures. I think it's important for you to take that step today. Just like some of the uncertainty and things in life, just like this sketchy bridge that I thought was a good idea to come walk out on right now, there is a potential for the thing to give and for things to fall down and things to just crumble at a moment's notice. But I think sometimes when you have the courage to put yourself out there and to do something nice, go take a walk, go camping, go take a drive, do whatever you can to just be outside and get away from the situation, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. I think sometimes that uncertainty can turn to the first step you need to be able to get over this overwhelm that you're feeling right now. Take that step. After this video is done, drop a like and then go outside, take some time for yourself. I hope it helps. And if it does, please only let me know down in the comments. I'm gonna see y'all here in the next one. Take care and wish me luck on getting off this bridge. Peace.